Welcome to Oh Heavens. In the previous episode, if you didn't see it, go back and listen to it. We asked a question about the term millennium and where it is in the Bible. We found out it's in the book of Revelation only, and it's there 6 times. So this question then is a follow-up to that question. When will the millennium take place? Now, it probably, in this moment, may not seem overly important. And it may not be a deal breaker about what the person believes about the timing of the 1,000 years. But a person's interpretation of that 1,000-year period affects his or her interpretation of other passages and events in the Bible. So that's why at least dealing with the question matters. Church history has seen the rise of a number of competing views. There are 3 primary ones, and let me lay them out for you real quick. 1, post-millennialism. This is the view that the second coming will follow the millennium. As more and more people are converted, the world will be gradually conquered for Christ. And at that time, God's justice will prevail across the earth, and Jesus will return and take up the throne that was won for him by the church. That's post-millennialism. The second coming happens after the 1,000-year reign. Amillennialism. This is a view that there is no literal millennium. In other words, the events that are happening are listed in Revelation 20 are happening right now. The church is reigning and Christ is reigning over the earth. This view really does take Scripture and make it nothing more than allegory. And so it is, in some ways, the weakest of the views, at least in my opinion. And then there also is premillennialism. This is the oldest of the 3. This may track better with most of you who are watching this. Premillennium is based on the literal interpretation of Scripture and teaches that the second coming will precede the millennium. This would place the millennium after the rapture and after the 7 years of tribulation. Then Jesus will come and literally reign on earth for 1,000 years. And so let's get that timeline in order, because we teach that in some other shows. We teach that in other contexts here at the Church of 434. You've probably heard it if you've watched this a lot. But what takes place is Jesus comes back and he reigns for 1,000 years on earth. Prior to that, there has been a tribulation and there has been a rapture that's taken place. Now, we've talked about the rapture before and the debate on when the rapture takes place. And I think that's maybe a more interesting and legitimate kind of conversation to have, is to try to figure out and splice that together. But I think that Scripture is pretty very clear about the millennium itself, that Jesus will come back and reign on earth after the tribulation is over with and after the church has been raptured out. And so if you're a follower, you're looking forward to the rapture event. You're looking forward to that moment that if you don't die first, you will be taken up with Jesus in the clouds. Jesus is going to return, and he's going to return, and he will reign for 1,000 years. And if you can keep that in that sequence, you understand a little bit more about how eternity unfolds. And you begin to discover some things that give you a confidence as you move toward the future. Now again, we're kind of getting some end times things here, and we're talking about heaven and how it all works and fits. Don't let it confuse you. The Bible gives you the information you need, and the information you need to be successful, and that's what matters. And so that's when the millennium will take place based on what Scripture says. And I'm sharing with you what I understand how it happens. Am I right? I don't know. Let's talk after millennium. We'll see. I look forward to joining you next time here on Oh Heavens.